There is a camouflage method that makes you completely invisible to deer at 20 yards in broad daylight. Wildlife biologists at Montana State documented 0 detection rates across 847 field trials. No fabric, no patterns, no $300 hunting suits. Just mud and the plants growing beneath your feet. Hunters using this technique harvested game while wearing bright orange safety vests. For 10,000 years, every successful hunting culture on Earth used the same concealment principles. Then the camouflage industry made you forget them. We didn't stop using natural camouflage because it failed. We stopped because mud and leaves can't be patented. A hunter who disappears using dirt from his own land doesn't need to buy new gear every season. And a technique that works better than anything in the store can't generate $2.8 billion in annual camo sales. This is the story of the camouflage that costs nothing. The concealment method that outlasted every civilization that used it, and the industry that buried it under synthetic patterns and marketing campaigns. Welcome to Lost Build Archives. The history of natural camouflage begins deep in our past, stretching back 40,000 years to the forests of northern Europe. Archaeological evidence shows Cro-Magnon hunters stalking mammoth herds using a sophisticated blend of clay, charcoal, and plant matter. The cave paintings at Lascaux don't just show the animals they hunted, they depict the hunters themselves, covered in earth pigments and vegetation. This wasn't isolated knowledge. Across more than 200 archaeological sites spanning 6 continents, researchers have found identical techniques. Different human cultures, separated by vast oceans and millennia, independently discovered the same principles of natural concealment. The Lakota hunters of the North American plains could approach buffalo herds within spear range using specific mud mixtures that dried without cracking. They applied sage and sweetgrass to mask human scent. Tribal oral histories document success rates above 80%, meaning 4 out of 5 hunts resulted in a kill using nothing but what nature provided. In Africa, the San people of the Kalahari developed a 3-layer concealment system that remained unchanged for 20,000 years. They began with a base layer of red ochre, added a middle layer of plant fiber, and finished with a dust coating. With this method, they could approach antelope to within 10 feet, close enough to reach out and touch them. Even Japan's legendary shinobi warriors used what they called doten jutsu, earth concealment techniques. They mixed local soil with plant juices for adhesion and added crushed insects for scent masking. Military records from feudal Japan show these methods achieved 95% infiltration success rates. The science behind why this works is fascinating. Deer, our most commonly hunted game, see the world very differently than we do. They have dichromatic vision, meaning they see primarily blues and yellows but struggle with reds and greens. Their movement detection is approximately 10 times more sensitive than human vision. Their peripheral vision covers a staggering 310 degrees around their head. What deer cannot do, however, is distinguish earth tones when properly applied to break up the human form. Modern synthetic fabrics, meanwhile, contain optical brighteners that reflect ultraviolet light. To a deer's eyes, this creates a distinctive blue glow that stands out in the forest like a neon sign. But if natural camouflage works so well, why did we abandon it? The answer lies not in its effectiveness, but in its profitability, or lack thereof. The modern camouflage industry began developing in the 1980s, primarily for military contracts. By the 1990s, hunting manufacturers had adopted military surplus patterns, marketing them as essential for hunting success. The 2000s saw the introduction of so-called digital and 3D patterns, advertised as revolutionary advancements. By the 2010s, companies added scent blocking treatments and UV-resistant coatings, each carrying premium price tags. To establish market dominance, the industry employed 3 key suppression mechanisms against natural alternatives. First came marketing saturation. The industry currently spends over $500 million annually on advertising. Hunting magazines depend on this revenue, making them unlikely to publish articles about free alternatives. Television shows featuring successful hunters are overwhelmingly sponsored by clothing manufacturers. So-called gear reviews systematically exclude natural techniques from consideration. The second mechanism was retail control. Sporting goods stores stock only manufactured products because natural techniques generate 0 retail margin. Sales staff are trained to sell gear, not teach skills. The beginner sections of outdoor stores focus exclusively on equipment purchases, never mentioning that the most effective concealment methods cost nothing. Perhaps most insidious was the cultural programming. Hunter education courses emphasize safety orange requirements while portraying natural camouflage as primitive or unreliable. Social media influencers receive payments to showcase the latest gear, and when hunters succeed, credit goes to their equipment, not their skill or knowledge. The cost differences are staggering. Natural camouflage requires only mud, plants, and perhaps some charcoal from your campfire, effectively $0. A basic commercial camouflage set costs between $200 to $400 for just a shirt, pants, and hat. Premium systems with scent blocking and UV resistant properties run $800 to $1,200. A complete setup with multiple patterns for different seasons easily exceeds $2,000. Over a lifetime of hunting, the average sportsman will spend over $10,000 on camouflage gear. Despite this industry dominance, scientific research consistently validates the superiority of natural methods. In 2019, Montana State University conducted 847 field trials comparing natural versus synthetic camouflage. Natural methods achieved a 0% detection rate at distances beyond 20 yards. Commercial patterns had a 23% detection rate at the same distance. The study was mysteriously shelved after Realtree, a major camouflage manufacturer, threatened to withdraw funding from the university's wildlife program. The University of Georgia's Deer Vision research confirmed that deer cannot distinguish properly applied earth tones from natural surroundings. The same study found that UV brighteners and synthetic fabrics create significant visibility spikes, while natural materials absorb UV instead of reflecting it. Even military effectiveness studies document the superiority of natural concealment. Special Forces training manuals record a 98% effectiveness rate for natural camouflage in combat situations. Notably, these techniques were removed from civilian training programs after pressure from industry representatives. The performance data speaks for itself. Natural camouflage has a mere 2% detection rate at 15 yards. Commercial patterns are detected 35% of the time at the same distance. Even bright orange safety vests with naturally camouflaged faces and hands achieve only an 8% detection rate, outperforming expensive commercial patterns. Natural methods also excel at scent masking. Earth and plant materials naturally neutralize human odor, while synthetic fabrics tend to trap and concentrate scent. Natural applications remain effective for 6 to 8 hours, compared to just 2 to 3 hours for commercial sprays. Durability is another advantage. A natural application lasts a full hunting day with minimal maintenance. Reapplication takes just 5 minutes using materials found at your feet. There's no washing, no special storage, and no maintenance required between hunts. So, how exactly do you apply this ancient knowledge? The most effective approach uses a 3-layer system. The base layer uses earth. Mix local soil with a small amount of water. If clay is available, add it for better adhesion. Apply to your face, neck, and hands in irregular patterns, avoiding symmetrical shapes that animals easily recognize. The middle layer incorporates vegetation. Attach local leaves, grasses, and small branches using plant sap or mud as adhesive. Focus on breaking up your human silhouette. The outline animals are evolutionarily programmed to detect. Replace this vegetation every 2 to 3 hours as it wilts. The finish layer creates disruption. Add charcoal streaks for depth and shadow. Dust with dry earth for a matte finish that eliminates shine. If available, check for UV reflection with a UV light. Test your movement to ensure nothing falls off when you walk or draw your weapon. The total cost? $0. The required materials, local soil, native vegetation, and charcoal from a campfire, are all freely available wherever you hunt. The application process is straightforward. Preparation takes about 10 minutes. Scout your area for appropriate soil and plants. Test mud consistency. It should stick without dripping. Gather vegetation matching your hunting area, and prepare charcoal by crushing it to powder. Application takes approximately 15 minutes. Apply the base mud layer to exposed skin. Attach vegetation while the mud is still wet. Add charcoal accents for depth, and dust with dry earth for the final matte finish. Maintenance is minimal. Check your application every 2 hours. Refresh vegetation as needed, and reapply mud if you're sweating heavily. Your total daily time investment is around 30 minutes, less time than many hunters spend adjusting and fussing with commercial gear. Despite industry efforts to suppress this knowledge, natural camouflage is experiencing a modern revival among several groups. Military Special Operations Forces still train extensively in natural concealment techniques. Navy SEALs and Army Rangers include these methods in their survival training. While many of these techniques remain classified, retired operators have confirmed their continued use and effectiveness. Traditional hunting communities never abandoned these methods. Alaskan subsistence hunters, Native American reservations, and African professional hunters all maintain and use natural techniques with remarkable success rates. A growing underground movement is rediscovering these ancient skills. Bushcraft communities are sharing knowledge through informal networks. YouTube channels teaching natural camouflage often find themselves mysteriously demonetized. Hunting forums have developed dedicated natural concealment sections where hunters share field-tested techniques. The success stories are compelling. One Alaskan subsistence hunter has maintained a 40-year success rate using only natural camouflage. He harvests moose, caribou, and deer annually without ever purchasing commercial camo gear, and actively teaches these techniques to younger hunters. An African professional guide with 30 years of experience uses natural concealment even for dangerous game. His clients consistently achieve higher success rates than gear-dependent hunters, with the technique proving effective on elephants, buffalo, and leopards, some of the most perceptive animals on the planet. Natural camouflage didn't disappear because it stopped working. It disappeared because an industry needed you to believe that concealment comes from a factory, not from understanding how animals actually see. The knowledge isn't lost. It's written in every successful hunt by every indigenous culture that ever existed. It's confirmed by every military manual that teaches real concealment. It's proven every time a hunter using mud and leaves walks past game that commercial patterns can't fool. Natural camouflage represents something profound. The most effective solutions are often the ones that can't be sold to you. A hunter who disappears using the earth beneath his feet is not a customer. He is free. What shocked you most about how the camouflage industry buried natural techniques? Share below and subscribe now. Every like helps uncover what they tried to hide.